everybody. Thanks for joining us for All Kinds of Pink. So I know we kind of look like the Brady Bunch in this little quad screen here. But we're just so excited and just so grateful to be able to just have like a chill conversation to just talk about like all kinds of pink. There are so many different types. There's no like Mary Kay type. There's no like pink Barbie walking around. I mean, I guess there probably is, but at the same time, I'm going to introduce my friends to you. My name's Melissa Galata, and I actually am a mom. I had to look at my notes just to make sure that I was saying my thing right. I'm a mom of two, and I just have been in this business for a long time, but 9 free cars, 3 of which have been pink Cadillacs. I'm super grateful for. Oh, I'm also a wife. I do have a husband that goes with those 2 kids. And prior to Mary Kay, I was a student. And I was like the kind of student that had like 57 jobs, you know. Like anything that I could do, I did it extra because I was a really broke college student. And so next, I'm going to share with you my friend Alexis. Alexis, wave at them, at least so they know who you are. Alexis is a wife. She's a mom of 2. She's picked up 5 free cars in Mary Kay. And prior to Mary Kay, she was a respiratory therapist. So awesome. Next is Susie. Susie is a wife and a mom of 2 as well. 5 free cars for Susie as well. She was a grad student and a homeschooling mom with some medical sales background before that. And so Susie's kind of lived all over. So if you move a lot, that's definitely somebody that you can relate to as well. And so next is Teresa. And Teresa, wave T. Teresa is a wife and a mom of 2. She's earned 10 free cars, 1 pink Cadillac, and she was a mail carrier and a business owner prior to Mary Kay. And so we're going to jump in and kind of just have a conversation and ask each other some just different questions. So you can kind of get an idea of, kind of get to know us a little better, but kind of get an idea of how this fit into our lives and how we've been successful, but how it could also fit into your life as well. Cool. Awesome. All right. So who's going first?
Okay, Alexis, so I go first. So I am going to ask a question. Where were you when you found Mary Kay? We're all going to answer, but let's go with T. Let us know, where were you when Mary Kay found you? Sorry.
When Mary Kay found me, I was actually delivering mail at the time. And what I can tell you is that the worst case scenario was, because I had no desire whatsoever to sell Mary Kay, to get other people to, buy Mary Kay, like no desire whatsoever to have a business. I was content. Things were great for me at the time. I thought I, was working for the government. That's where I thought I'd be until I retired. And so basically the person that had recruited me needed one more person to join so they could reach this level that they wanted. And I thought, worst case scenario, I'll just get my products at cost and that'll be fine. But don't expect anything from me, was basically what I thought and told her. And so that is how my journey in Mary Kay began, was just so I could get my products at cost. And 25 years later, I'm still in Mary Kay. Yep, that was crazy.
Awesome.
That's how it started. Wow.
Who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Okay.
I'll go. And then we'll pass that one to Melissa after that. When Mary Kay found me, I was like finishing up homeschooling. I had homeschooled for 14 years. I was working on my master's degree in theology at Notre Dame Seminary. I had worked outside of this home off and on, but of course, homeschooling is pretty much a full-time job. And my husband traveled all the time, was gone all the time. In the meantime, like in the middle of all of that, we had moved to Arizona, and come back here. All kinds of crazy stuff. So when Mary Kay found me, both my kids were ending up in college and my daughter was gone. And I didn't know what to do with myself. And let me tell you guys, I was scared. I was worried. I was nervous because that had been my life. And I did not know what I was going to do, although I was finishing up, like I said, grad school. But when I was invited to just this event, and it was a rainy day, and in the meantime, ladies, I was like helping start. I had a radio show, and I went to this Mary Kay event before the radio show, and didn't want to be there. And pretty much the same thing as Teresa said, the woman who recruited me was finishing up a goal to be something she wanted to be in Mary Kay. And I was the last person. And I got called and she said, okay, look, I was already a customer and you've already bought, and it was the Time Wise repair set, which was brand new at the time. You've already bought this. What do you say? I need one more person. And so I really did get into Mary Kay for just personal use. And I kind of said what Teresa said. Don't boss me. Don't pressure me. I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but I like this stuff. My face looked good and I realized I'd been neglecting it. And I'll just finish with this. The first time I realized that I might look into actually doing Mary Kay. Don't you hate air quotes? I hate air quotes, and yet I do them. The first time I looked into doing Mary Kay, the woman who recruited me called me and said, okay, well, I'm calling you to tell you about our first meeting. It'll be on Tuesday night, blah, blah, blah. And I hung up the phone and looked at my husband and I said, gee, these women are really serious about this stuff. That's what I said. But guess what? I went to the meeting and that's when I discovered the world of Mary Kay. So that's where I was.
Awesome.
Susie, I have to tell you, the funny part is that as your girl needed one more person and my girl needed one more person. Do you know, back when my girl needed one more person, she didn't know that she counted, and she really didn't need me.
She didn't need you. Oh my God.
Wow.
No, she really didn't need me. So that's I thought, crazy. Well, God had a plan.
But he did.
Go Mel.
So Mel.
He did. So when Mary Kay found me, y'all, it was an act of God, period. Like he took me and had this girl invited me to a Mary Kay event. She said, come, you'll feel beautiful when you leave, and so confident. And I was like, okay, that sounds great. I'll have a dose of
beautiful. Now you look beautiful.
Thank you. I was like, I'll have a dose of that, So I went in to this event. Now, I didn't wear makeup. I wore mascara and chapstick. I washed my face with shampoo. Okay, so I was not the typical person that you would be like, oh, she would love an event like this. So this girl went out on a limb and invited me, and I went. I had the best time, okay? But let me tell you what I saw. I saw people positive, professional, excited, kind of the opposite of what I thought Mary Kay was. I thought Mary Kay was for little old ladies with blue eyeshadow and pink Cadillacs. This was 20 years ago. So that's really what I thought about Mary Kay. My mom and my grandmother wore Mary Kay. So I automatically thought it was only for more mature people. And I sat there and these people were everything that I thought that Mary Kay wasn't. And I was just really inspired. But where I was in my life, I was this really confused, broke college student. I changed my major 6,000 times. I did not know exactly where I was going, just knew that I was going somewhere where I was going to make a difference. And I also had a little trouble with my Victoria's Secret credit card. And they had called the day before and said I owed more than the credit limit. And I was like, how did that even happen? And they were like, well, you didn't pay your bill, so you're over the limit, late fees, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'll figure this out. And I had no plan. I was already working 60 hours a week. I was going to school full time. I would babysit your kids. I'd weed your flower bed. I'd organize your closet. I mean, just anything that you needed me to do for money, I could do it, right? Well, within reason, I guess. But that being said, Mary Kay found me that day, sitting in that room. I feel like God was like throwing a brick in my head, like, you need to do this. And so I signed up right then and there. At the end of the event, they said, if Mary Kay is anything you'd ever, or is Mary Kay anything you'd ever consider for yourself? And I was like, and I'm sure the girl who brought me was like, put your hand down. Are you kidding? Like, you can't do this. And she said, you didn't even wear makeup today. Like, who do you really think is going to buy it from you tomorrow? And I'm like, I don't know. They said that if I was teachable, coachable, and trainable, and I had a big heart and I love people, that I could do this. And so that was, but basically, like, the rest is history for me. I didn't second guess it. I was just like, I am straight up doing this, because I remember thinking, if you're going to pay off the Victoria's Secret bill, then you're going to need to work some extra hours. There were no more hours for me to work. Like, there were no more hours in the day. You know, I mean, have you ever been in a place like that where you had like more month than money, like more bills than time you could even work, you know? That's where I was. And I just figured, worst thing that could happen is that I would sell enough to like my friends and family to make my $100 back, because back then it was $100 to join Mary Kay. And I just thought, I'll quit if it doesn't work out. But there was no doubt in my mind that it wasn't going to work out. I knew it was. I really knew it was. I was like, I'm about to do this. So yeah, that's where Mary Kay found me. That's where I was when Mary Kay found me.
Awesome. And you know what? I always say I had the same thought process as you. I thought Mary Kay was for really mature women. And I had an aunt who did it, and I was, you know, asked numerous times, you know, hey, would you like to do this? And I'm like, oh no. Same thing with Melissa. I wore lipstick, powder, mascara, and then I washed my face with alcohol. I'd put alcohol in a cotton ball and I'd wash my face like that. Even I remember even my husband was like, you probably shouldn't do that. And I'd be like, oh yeah, you don't know, you know, like it's in my face. But what happened was, my aunt actually did call me one day, and she said they actually were on some kind of challenge or something, and they needed someone to join. And so I don't know why I said yes, but I said yes. I was actually like, I think I was about to cut my grass outside when she called me. And so I said yes. And, you know, I did work at the hospital, of course, as a respiratory therapist. And my husband, actually, he had worked for the oil field back then. And he actually worked a lot in Alaska. So he was only home maybe about 12 days out of the month. And so I still had no intentions. Like when I joined Mary Kay, I joined. And then I remember I hung up and I thought, she's going to actually want me to work this. You know?
That's how I felt about the meeting thing.
Yes. like she actually wants me to do something. I mean, and then what happened was the starter kit came in, and the starter kit was filled with stuff. And as these three ladies know, I love gifts and stuff. And so my mom was home, and me and my mom opened it. It was like Christmas, you know, so that got me excited. And I listened to one phone call. Not that I wanted to, but I was sent a phone call, and I thought, well, what the heck? Let me just go ahead and listen to it. So I listened, and I just overheard the girl. She had sold like $3,500 in a month. And we make half of that. We make 50%. And she was earning her very first car. She had a commission check that was about $1,000. And I thought to myself, well, the girl's kind of doing better than me. And I'm working 12-hour shifts over here at this hospital, you know? And so that's whenever I thought, hey, I'm going to give it a try. And actually my best friend said, don't do it. It's a scam. Like, and you don't even wear makeup. Like, you don't know how to put on I literally, who taught me? Actually, Susie's daughter and Teresa is the one who taught me how to put on eyeshadow. And that was about 2 years into Mary Kay. Okay. So anyway, you know, it took me a while to learn how to do all that, and I still am not the best at it, believe me. So anyway, yeah, that's where Mary Kay found me. And then 9 years later,
And then here you are. Okay, so ladies, let's mix it up a little bit. And we're going to pop this back to Melissa. Okay, we're not going in any order, right? Okay, so Melissa, what would have stopped you from starting? And thanks, Alexis. That was awesome. What would have stopped you from starting?
What could have stopped me from starting was that I just didn't have any time. Like, if you would have said, hi, do you have the time to work this business? I mean, I didn't really know what kind of time it took, but I do know that I didn't have any time. I was working at the Country Club of Louisiana, like at the tennis pro shop. I was working 60 hours a week. Okay. I was going to school full time and I was commuting back and forth, like from school. So like I wasn't living at school. And, I would pick up anything like that I could along the way, as far as just like extra work. And so I really didn't have the time to do Mary Kay. But what I figured out is that, I worked it into the things that I was already doing. So in Mary Kay, like I learned after I joined Mary Kay that busy people get things done. And so the busiest people in the world are actually the ones that really get the most done. Like if you don't have anything to do and you're on the couch eating bonbons and you were happy doing that, do they even have bonbons anymore? Like, is that still a thing?
How about popcorn? I don't know.
Popcorn, ice cream, snacks. If you're a couch potato and you like it, then, maybe you won't get a lot done in Mary Kay. But if you are a busy mom or a busy wife or just a busy working woman, or if you're very involved in your community or just any of those things, if you are busy, chances are you know how to prioritize your tasks. And I always tell everyone I'm not a procrastinator. I'm just really good with deadlines. And, I can get things done. And so if there was anything that could have held me back, I would definitely say that it was the time, or you could factor in that I didn't wear makeup or wash my face with anything other than the shampoo. Like you could have said that. I didn't have much money management experience or lack. I like failed at money management at that point in my life. I didn't know how to run a business. Like all of those things could have entered my mind, but I didn't think about those things. I just saw it as an opportunity. And so while we could all say, I'm so busy, I'm this, I'm that, da, 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 which way do you want to look at it? Do you want to look at it as an opportunity, or do you want to let like all those things that you could easily overcome stop you? Right. And I guess at 19, none of those like other things factored in. I was just like, I like just blocked that out. Was just like, I got to pay the Victoria's Secret bill, shut up and get started. And that was kind of how I got started, or what could have stopped me, really.
Awesome. Okay, let's see. How about Alexis? What could have stopped you?
Everything could have stopped me. So let's see. And actually, I'll tell you this. So I mentioned I had, an aunt, and she asked me for numerous years to join Mary Kay. So actually, everything did stop me. If I could go back, like, you always join something and then you're like, oh, if I could have went back, if I really would have joined 5 years ago, where would I be today? But time for sure. Like I said, my husband wasn't really home. We had 2 girls. They were 7 and 14 at the time, both like Monday through Friday, extracurricular activities. My mom I live in Louisiana. My mom lived in Texas. So I was low on babysitters. I mean, I had no time. If you open up my calendar, I mean, everything was set in stone. So time was a big thing. I didn't think I knew enough people. That was a big thing. I also there are times where I'm extroverted. There are times when I'm introverted. So there are many times where I don't even want to talk to people, to be quite honest. So that was a thing. And I thought today it's very different. We do a lot of virtual stuff, but back then we did a lot of in-person stuff. And so everyone was looking at me, right? And so that's just not my forte right there. I mean, just everything. I didn't wear makeup. I didn't want to do it. Everything stopped me. Why did I say yes? I don't know. I guess I just had a moment of why not let me do it. And then of course, once I got into Mary Kay, I kind of, like Mel said, I was teachable, coachable, and trainable. And that's all you have to be. And you just have to have a work ethic, you really do. And, sometimes you can do personal use and maybe you have a few family or friends that jump on and you'll make a little bit of cash. But if you want something big, you just have to have the work effort, whatever you do matches to your payments, basically, So yeah, everything would have stopped me.
Okay, that is awesome. Teresa, you next.
Okay.
What could have or would have stopped you?
Well, gosh, I hate to say it, but like everything that you can think of that would have been an obstacle, and money would have stopped me, because I had set what I was doing with my money, and that wasn't something that I wanted to put towards even the $100 necessarily, of paying to get started with it. Although I knew that was an investment to be able to get my products at cost by 50% off. And so I am all about a good savings. Yeah. And so I could see that. So that I overcame, because it was going to be a savings in the future for that, to only pay half. I'm a big believer in, I go to Sam's to get a discount on things, as far as buying food and things like that. So it's a better deal. So I'm all about definitely getting a better deal for shopping and all of that, the sale price or things like that. So that certainly was, but the funny thing is, back before I was a mail carrier, I actually worked at a printing shop, and I was a manager there. And so there was a lady in Mary Kay that used to come in and get her newsletters printed. And so I would do that, and she would always approach me about Mary Kay as well. Aww. And it was like, no, don't want any of that. I don't want to have to sell stuff. I don't know a lot of people. The same thing, I don't know really how to do makeup. I mean, I do the best I can on Sunday to go to church, but to teach someone else, no, that scares me to death, because I don't even know if I'm doing it right, And then the whole notion of having, to find the people or to do parties or things like that, and just to try to sell to people, like that was scary. And to find the people, like, no. And I was already set with my friends. I mean, I didn't keep in touch with a lot of people during, from like high school or things like that, even just because it became my family and work and children, and that was my life. It was strictly doing for the family, doing for the children, and then the wheels just turned over and over, and it was repeat always. So there was no time really for anything else. All the reasons that you can think of, I think, running a business, like all those things. Although on the flip side, I can say every one of those things were a help, believe it or not. Once I did get into Mary Kay, kind of sort of tricked into Mary Kay a little bit, not really, but kind of, right? Just because I was helping somebody out, even though they didn't need me and they didn't know it. But because of all that, what did I learn? Well, I learned more time management. I learned more about a business. I learned how to run a business. I learned more about, just all the things with people and working with people more, and people skills, social settings, like all of these things that I wouldn't have known anyway. And that actually helped for my husband at the time to be able to start his own business, which then, once he passed away, became my business again. So it's because I did do this that I was able to give so much more to my family because of it. Because of it, my children are much more outgoing than they would have been. I know that. They have a stronger head on their shoulders than they would have. They're different people than they would have been if I had not been in Mary Kay and not have built even more confidence within myself, which I see more now in them. So Mary Kay's given me so much more than just an income, than just money. Yeah, I was able to buy my husband at the time a boat as well. And all the things, pay for my children's tuition, all the things. But the things that you don't see, the tangible things that you don't see, the intangible things that you can't put a price on, those are the things that I'm so glad that I was kind of tricked, if you will, into actually joining. And so I'm so grateful for that. Susie, what about you?
Thanks, T. Well, mine, I was in such a different place in life. And look, I'm not afraid of age, ladies. I was 51 when I started Mary Kay. That is not the norm, I don't think. It's a little bit of an outlier. So really and truly, what could have stopped me was believing that my age was a hindrance. That could have stopped me because believe me, I talk to women my age now, and I'm older than that now. And I talk to women and hands down, oh, well, if I were 20 years younger, I would start that. Oh, I wouldn't start that now. Or they don't feel a need to start it. So my age could have easily been a hindrance to me. And I thought about it. But at the same time, I didn't want to put God in a box. I had been praying. Understand, I was in a place that was scary. And the fear could have stopped me because I didn't know what was coming next. I was working on a master's degree, but guys, I had no idea what I was going to do with that silly thing. I mean, people would ask me, well, what are you going to do? You're going to go teach. That's the automatic thing you do with a theology master's degree. You're going to go teach in the schools, right? You're going to teach religion. Well, no, I had absolutely no desire to do that. When I tell you, I was like following God, and I didn't know what the next step was going to look like. That was me. And so then my kids, I'm faced with them being away from home. And guys, I'm going to tell you right now, that's a big transitional time. It is. And I was afraid. I was afraid because I didn't want to feel the loneliness. I didn't want to feel the sadness. And so when this person invited me to this event, I have to say that because of prayer, I was open to the possibilities. Mm-hmm. So the fear of the unknown could have stopped me. My age could have stopped me, right? The fact that I didn't have a huge, guys, I'll be honest, I didn't have a huge financial need at the time. That could have stopped me because I could have said, I don't need to do this. Why am I doing this? Seriously, that stops people all the time. If the need isn't great enough, right? Then you go, I don't need to do this. I don't need to challenge myself. I don't need to try something new. And I'll tell you something else that could have stopped me of all people. And these three ladies know, you know how many people on this planet I know, right? From the travels and the history, right? I literally said, I don't know anybody. Now, if you knew me, you'd say, for Susie McKenzie to say she doesn't know anybody, that's, guys, I've traveled all over the world. I've lived in places. I lived in California for 13 years. I know people from, every experience I've ever had in my life. And I literally said, I don't know anybody. Who would I talk to? That could have stopped me. But the fact was I had been praying literally on my knees, begging God for what would come next, that I knew I couldn't put God in a box. And I couldn't say, it can only be this. Oh God, this is, okay, what do I do next? But only if it's this. Okay, that's what I'll do. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't do that. And I remember when we moved to Arizona and I was praying so desperately because my husband traveled all the time. Ladies, if anybody has a partner who travels all the time. We're not talking about he was in Baton Rouge for the weekend. No, my husband was in China for 3 weeks. He was in Poland for 2 weeks. He was in Germany, England. He had offices all over the world. He was always gone. And I was basically a single mom for about 15 years. And believe me, there were a lot of sacrifices, and he did not like the travel. We did end up traveling with him, and that's one of the things that homeschooling, allowed us to do. We could pick up and take school with us, but I digress. The point is that I did know people. I had experienced letting go and letting God take us to Arizona because I had been praying so desperately for us to be together as a family. And so when this opportunity for my husband came up in Arizona and he took it, I was like, great, we'll be together for a year. Our 2 years. If he stays at that work, we'll be together forever. And I just did it. So maybe I had a little bit of experience with that leaping, not knowing what was going to come after. But I'll tell you, if I had not been open to possibilities and been praying about it and been open to letting God just do whatever it is he wanted to do, that could have held me back. That could have held me back. And that's why I have such a strong belief in not trying to work out all the details in advance. We can't. There's no way to work out all the details in advance. You prayed about it. Maybe you didn't. I don't know. But there's a force in the universe, and I call it God, that brings everything together and points us in the right direction. So I said yes. I said yes because I knew that I couldn't put God in a box. I needed to be open to the possibilities, even though I didn't think I knew anybody, which was ridiculous. Ladies, I have a sales background, and I thought I couldn't sell Mary Kay. I was in medical sales years ago. I totally have the chops, the sales chops. Thought I couldn't do it. You have to understand, I had a 15-year-old mascara in my makeup drawer at the time. Yes, I'm not kidding. And I couldn't figure out why my eyes itched. I was using a 15-year-old dry lip mascara. I'm not kidding. I was a stay-at-home mom. I was a homeschooling mom. I didn't need makeup. So ladies, those are the things that could have held me back. But probably, the first things I mentioned, the fear, the age. So if you're in a different stage in life, all of us are in different stages in life. I mean, I was in a totally different stage in life to start a Mary Kay business. That totally could have held me back. But I'm so glad it didn't. I'm so glad it didn't.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, Susie. Okay. So I'm going to start out with a question for Alexis. Ready? Mm-hmm. Alexis, tell me, what do you find that sets the company apart, and why do you stay?
Okay. So first of all, if you don't know, we are a Christian company. So we do put God first, family second, and career third. Actually, the other thing, like I know I said I listened to that phone call of her making money, and I'll be honest, it was like I saw she was making money, and I thought, okay, well, that people actually make money in Mary Kay is what I thought. Okay. And then I saw their Mary Kay Foundation. And so we have a Mary Kay Foundation that anytime you purchase a lipstick or a cleanser or whatever, we fully fund domestic violence shelters actually around the world. There's 150 in the US. We just went global, I think 2 years ago or something like that. So, if you ever know someone in that situation, whoever put you watching this, text them, and they can actually send a number, or they can give them a number to call, or they can send a text, and they'll take care of them and their family if they're in that domestic violence situation. Also, we do a lot of research for women's cancers, and we do a lot of environmental causes, and there's other things that we do. So it is it's a nonprofit. It is just just something that I think is great for a company to do. The fact that we're US based in Dallas, Texas. I love Texas. So I love the fact that our company's in Dallas. So that's a big thing too. And let's see. So those are the things that really impressed me, that I thought too, we make 50% profit. Also, commissions don't come from your team members. They actually come from the company. And I thought that was great because it's a great marketing plan. It's very different than like a pyramid level type of plan. It's different than anything out there because I've looked at lots of companies and how they get paid and this and that, and it is very different. I became, and I know it's like what I'm saying is a lot of money focused, but yeah, because this is how I make my money. So it's definitely it's how I feed my family. It's definitely money focused for me as well. And why do I say those things that I just mentioned? But also for the friendships, I didn't think that I needed any more friends, to be honest. And that was actually one of my things. Like, I don't need any more friends. I got enough to deal with over having more friends into my life, But the three women on here, they're almost like sisters to me, and so it's very different, and then I came into the Mary Kay world one time and everybody's like all excited and happy. And I'm wondering, where's the bar? Like, they have to be drinking, and they weren't. They were not drinking. I'm used to, yeah, that was my first event I ever went to. That was my first thought is I must have missed the bar,
You missed happy hour.
Yeah, I definitely missed the happy hour. But I get it, and it's like, it's different from when I worked at the hospital, like 5 people wanted a manager's position and they tore each other up to get it. In Mary Kay, it's different because all 4 of us on here are sales directors. We've all earned cars. We've, we actually all earned a trip to the Bahamas. So, we all did things together. And so it doesn't have to be ripping people apart. It's actually putting people together. And so that is why I do love Mary Kay probably the most.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Yay. Awesome, Alexis. Okay. Melissa, you tell me what you think. Well, I already know, I think. But what do you want to share the most about? What do you feel that the company sets us apart? And why do you stay?
So I think what sets us apart the most is the pink bubble, like Alexis described. I definitely think that the culture of Mary Kay is what sets us apart. In Mary Kay, we have something called the Go Give Spirit, and it's giving of yourself without expecting anything in return. And that exists so strongly in our company that you wouldn't believe the amount of good people there are in this Mary Kay bubble, if you will. I have no desire to have graduated with a degree in marketing and have no desire to step back into or even into corporate America because of what we have here. It's 99.9% positive, and we get to pick and choose who we work with. We get to be our own bosses, and I really do believe that that is what has made the greatest impact in my life. But also, like Alexis was saying, making half of everything you sell. Like, I ask myself this all the time. Like, sometimes when you may be having like a moment of like, gosh, things didn't go the way that I wanted them to go today. But then you ask yourself, where else could I go and make insane income and work the amount of hours that I work with the people that I work them with? Like, we get to pick and choose our customers. We get to pick and choose our consultants. We get to pick and choose. And I really do believe that, God puts people in our paths for a reason. And because of Mary Kay, because of the Go Give Spirit, because of the way that we work our businesses, we're very in tune to the people that God is placing in our lives. And so just the way the whole dynamic works, it's just that awesome. And I really do believe that that's probably what sets us apart the most. I was in Mary Kay for 10 years, and I was actually burned in a fire on my face, my chest, and my left arm. And the whole Mary Care world like picked me up, whether they were in my unit or not, whether they were connected to me or not. Like people that I had not seen in years came to my house and like checked on me and brought food and called and prayed. And, you know, they had a phone call, I think it was at like midnight that night, that, you know, everyone had found out that I got burned, and like they got on a conference call from all over the country and prayed for me. I'm sorry, I don't think there's even a church organization that would have done that for me at that moment in time. You know what I mean? And so the Mary Kay bubble just like totally will pick you up from where you are and support you in where you want to go. All you have to do is do the work, and they will always tell you you can do it. Anytime that you fall or have an obstacle, they just connect you with someone who has been through a similar situation. And so you can contact that person to find out, like, how did you overcome this? Can you help me? And they always do. And they always do. And that, I think, is something that you can't find anywhere else. That's almost like having sisters and mothers and grandmothers all over the world, you know, all over the world. Like I know right now that if I were to get like stranded in any state or really any country around the world, I honestly could put a message out to Mary Kay people and someone would come to my rescue. Someone's mama, sister, somebody's going to help me. That's just, it's just the culture of Mary Kay, I think, is what sets us apart the most, for sure. Yes.
Totally agree with you. Thank you, Melissa. Susie, you want to chime in, honey?
Well, you know, I do. What sets the company apart for me really is truly Mary Kay the woman. And I wrote that down because of the fact, maybe it was my age, but the fact that she was 48 years old when she started this company.
That's right.
I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That was a big deal to me. That took chutzpah. That took courage. And not to mention the fact that her husband passed away, you know, a month to the day before the company opened. And I mean, you want to talk about obstacles. Mary Kay could have quit 1,000 times,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
But something drove her, and because she did flying ink pen, because she did have a greater purpose. And that attracted me, was the fact that maybe it was because I had lived a little bit of life, you know, when Mary Kay found me, but that it attracted me that she didn't need to be doing that. There were other options at that stage in her life. And she had been such a successful salesperson. I mean, she had been #1 with these companies she had been with. There was really no reason to do what she wanted to do, but she really did have a higher purpose. And that was to open up opportunity for other women. I mean, yeah, she wanted to support her family and make money. Yeah, all those things existed in her mind, I'm sure. But I'm here to tell you, without that higher purpose, that greater purpose of wanting to create opportunities for other women, she probably would have maybe thrown in the towel. Because at that stage in your life, it's higher purpose that's what's going to drive you. Yeah. So I believe that's what sets our company apart. The Mary Kay company was not created by a bunch of men around a conference table. And I tell people this all the time. The woman Betty Crocker never existed. I don't know if you guys know that. She never existed. She was never a real person. Betty Crocker was created by men around a conference table who said, let's figure out a name for a homemaker. And then let's make her look like a homemaker would look, that would attract women. And her face has changed over the years. But Betty Crocker never existed. Mary Kay was a real woman who created a company born out of her real life experiences. And she had it tough. Her life was not easy at all.
That's right.
You know? So yeah, I think that's what sets us apart big time. I think women can relate to Mary Kay if they know her story.
Yep.
And yeah, you know, we lost her beautiful Mary Kay in 2001, long before I ever joined Mary Kay. So her pictures look dated, and you know, she's got the big hair going on, which was the style at the time.
Right.
But yeah. So what? That's the time in which she lived. That was the time where God called her to do what she did. So I believe that sets us apart, like different from any other company out there. In any, I'll even go farther than not just direct sales or not just, you know, direct marketing or any of that, any company at all, because of the woman. And I stay because of so many reasons. I mean, everything that these ladies said, it's hard to add to that. What attracts you in the beginning isn't necessarily the reason why you stay. Although for me, the philosophy of Mary Kay is absolutely lived out by the women who are in Mary Kay. Like Melissa said, with the go give spirit. I mean, that's a Mary Kay thing. And it's lived out in the women. And yes, like Alexa said, you can make money doing this, because quite honestly, I didn't want to waste my time, because I was what they call the more mature woman. I'm not so sure how mature I was, but I didn't have time to waste. I didn't want to waste my time. So the fact that the company has a great model for making money, and you get your commissions based on the company profits, not this whole thing with all the people underneath you, even though we do build teams. I liked that. So I liked the common sense approach. I liked the businessy side of it. I liked that it was a legitimate business. And what keeps me here is absolutely the friendships. When you start to live this life, and then you have these women who are accessible to you at all times, and you can build those groups, but then you also have these core group of women that you trust with your life, which are these three ladies on this call. I would trust them with my life. I would trust my kids with them. I mean, let me tell you, like Melissa said, you know, you could call someone if you were in trouble, and you'd have an army of women rising up to help you. That keeps you here. That keeps you here, because the longer you live life, the more you realize there's very few people you can trust in this world.
Yep.
Very few. And it gets, the more you meet people and the more you see what happens, you realize, oh my gosh, but I can trust these women. So that's what keeps me here.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely. So, Alexis, I think we can probably combine like our next two for sure, because they're almost like the same thing. So like the qualities that we look for and what makes Mary Kay relevant right now kind of go into the same thing. Because the way the world is right now, what's relevant to us all right now is freedom and choices, right? And so the number one quality that I look for in women is women who have a drive and a dream for more. Whether that more is a little bit or whether that more is a lot. You may be looking to save money on your products. You may be looking to replace an income. You may be looking for extra gas money, whatever it is. But I look for women who, in today's world, because Mary Kay provides the most ultimate flexibility and all the choices, I look for women with a drive and a dream for sure. How about you, T?
I actually look for women that are, I want to say, willing to do what it takes. Because so many people say they want more, they want this or that, but they're just talking. They're just talking. They're not, and I say willing to do what it takes. I mean, you do need to put forth some effort, you know. Right. It's not hard. It's just things aren't given to anybody on a silver platter.
Right.
And people that expect that, I think, are somewhat delusional in a way. Like, no, that's not how it happens. Don't think of it that way. The things, though, that are worth having are worth working for. And it's not hard work, but it is work. It is staying focused. It is being persistent, and it is worth it. That's all I got to say. But yeah, I look for people that are really looking to do something. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Alexis, how about you?
Yeah, I look for the same, look for someone who is a woman of her word. I am very much a woman of mine. And so I expect that, whether it's, personal use, hey, I'm here for personal use and sell my family, or hey, I'm ready to rock and roll and earn a car, someone who's willing to work. And, there's nothing comes free for life. You're not going to join Mary Kay and have 10,000 people come to your door. It's not going to happen. But we teach you, coach you, and we train you. I went to school for respiratory therapist for quite some time, and I was able to learn how to do Mary Kay in a week, so it's definitely not hard. I believe Mary Kay is relevant now because we're able to do something very virtual. I know, my opinion of the world, it is never going back to the original way that the world was before all this, stuff has come over our world, and virtual is where it's at. And, we sit home from home. We don't have to go out anymore. We're able to do everything virtually, which is very easy, especially for the people who work, because you don't have to go anywhere anymore. Back in the day, you had to. And also too, maybe you work, maybe you have a great income like Susie. Susie didn't need money, and maybe when she joined Mary Kay, and I've heard numerous successful people out there say you need multiple streams of income. And so Mary Kay can be one of your multiple streams of income. Who doesn't want more income? I mean, you can always use it or give it or something, right? And so yeah.
Love it. All right, Susie.
Okay, I'm looking for women who are willing to learn and to use their God-given gifts. And you know what? Maybe feel a little scared sometimes, but have that fortitude to push through it. Yep. I really do, because think of all the things we push through for others, for our children, for our husbands, for our family, our parents. Well, are you willing to push through for something that you can do for yourself, but something that will provide for your family, will bring the plan B? And you know what, Alexis, I may not have had a financial need when I joined, but guess what? The financial need came 3 years later. Mm-hmm. And I had Mary Kay. Mm-hmm. You see, I tell people all the time, God puts Mary Kay in your life before you know you need it. Mm-hmm. And then it's there. So if you're willing to learn something, and we're not talking rocket science here. You're willing to learn a little bit, be creative, use the gifts God's given you, and feel a little scared, but do it anyway. Practice fortitude. You will have Mary Kay there for you when you need it, and you can change it. If the need changes, you change how you do your Mary Kay business. That's the beauty of it. So yeah, I'm looking for women that are willing to learn and have a little bit of guts.
That's right. Awesome. Well, Susie, you want to show us, I can share the screen really quick, but you want to show us or just explain to us the different options here? Let's see.
She's muted.
Am I frozen?
Yes, I will share. I was muted.
Sorry.
I heard Alexis say she's muted.
Oh.
Okay. Awesome. Oh, we have so many options now, ladies. This is so great. First of all, we have an electronic start. Alexis talked about how the world has changed, and you bet it has. Mary Kay has responded to that change. It's called an e-start. For $30, you can start a business. For $30. You get a full year of a website that would normally cost you $50 or $60, I think, and then a full year of a third-party credit card system, which is called ProPay. Those two things alone allow you to start a completely virtual business. Okay. $30. That's it. You get a consultant number. You're a consultant. Okay. And then you're the person who recruited you, or your director will then talk to you about the next steps to go through. But you also get the marketing tools, the customer support, the step-by-step education, access to all things Mary Kay through the Mary Kay In Touch website. You get free apps, all the things. So I got to tell you that eStart is the bomb.com. Secondly is a full starter kit plus an eStart. Now, a lot of women say, well, I love that $100 starter kit Mary Kay used to offer. Well, guess what? We still do. You have over $400 worth of product and supplies in that starter kit. And Alexa said it earlier that when she opened it, when she first became a consultant, she felt like it was Christmas, I think she said. And you do, you feel like you've sent yourself this amazing gift because there's so much in it. And we're talking full-size products, ladies, as well as samples and any business materials you need to share the Mary Kay products with people. So they give the list: literature, education, designer bag. The bag itself is awesome. You get the personalized website and credit card processing, all with that. Access to in touch, digital marketing, customer support, all the things, and education. But this way, you start a business that can be worked virtually as well as in person, because you will have the products to share with women, okay? And a lot of women, look, I've had women who decide to get that full starter kit and eStart, even when they don't know exactly what they're going to do with their business, or they may even be deciding on personal use, they go with this. So think of that option as, you know, a kind of a Mary Kay set sort of option as well. And lastly is a sample pack add-on. Let's say you want to do the eStart, but you want to at least have some things to share with the women you talk to. So there's this amazing $45 sample pack add-on. Look at everything that comes with it. I want you to understand these are the samples of the products that are probably the most popular of our skincare products. Plus you get catalogs, plus you get education and Mary Kay's autobiography. So you've got skincare, supplements for both detoxifying and hydrating the skin, and then all these other goodies for $45. I promise you, were you to order these separately, it wouldn't be $45. So ladies, those are your options to like jump into the Mary Kay pool, if you will, to start living life pink.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. If you are still with us, or if you joined us halfway, or if you've been with us from the beginning, we just are so grateful that you just took the time to listen, to find out a little bit more about all the different kinds of pink. And so your consultant has a Google link. Okay. And just make sure that you text her and ask her, say, send me the link. The link just gets your opinion, and there's probably a little prize associated with the link. Your name will either go in a drawing, or just for filling it out, you'll get a prize. Just depends on what your consultant or her sales director's got going on at the moment. But please make sure that you text her and say, hey, I was on, send me the link, because we value your opinion more than anything. Like, you are the reason why we do what we do, and it is your opinion that makes us great. So thank you so much. Is there anything else that anybody wants to add before we go? No, y'all good?